Hi, everybody. I'm looking forward to walking you through this course. Again, the Strategic Career Self-Management course I'm going to walk through, offered through the State of University of New York, Coursera. So as you see on the left, you have the breakdown of the 6 weeks. One thing that I like about this course, I'm going to talk about at the very end, are the likes and dislikes of this. But as you can see on the front page, it's clear how much time it's going to take, what is due, what you'll be doing, watching videos, reading, anything like that. You can collapse them, all that good stuff. But I want to jump into one of these weeks to talk about. Here's the breakdown. A lot of it is content through a lecture. So you see here you have Dr. Michelle Fort talking about different things, but one thing I will talk about is they always have the same intro saying that this is what we'll be looking at, and then you can always see the instructor talking about it. Then the interactive transcript below is very helpful. So you can click on different things and it will take you to that part of the video, which is always helpful. Maybe it's like having lecture notes before you even have to take it. So then moving on, as you can see, these different things, they move on to and break them on usually a minute to 4-minute videos. Then they have these practice quizzes, which you have to get a certain score to move on. Now, these aren't going towards your grade, which anyway, the grade for this one isn't necessarily what you have to have to get the credit for the course or anything like that. So you see, as I clicked all of these, that I had them all wrong, just to show you that you have to get an 80% to move on. There's only 3 questions, though, so it's very brief, and a lot of these things are brief that way. So I'm going to take it again to show you that I'm going to click through all these things, just quickly click, 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 and show you what will happen if I get less than 80% again. I submit, and then again, I'm not at that 80% threshold, which it gives you the answers, but then it rearranges them when you move forward. So the practice quiz is just one of those built-in assessments to make sure that you are on pace. So jumping back to the outline of this particular section, you can see that there's exercises as well, but not discussion boards. They are over on the left-hand side, but they're not telling you to continually talk. Now we move on to week 2. You see that we have kind of a summary of what's going on here, but a different instructor. That's one thing about this course, and we have another one in week 3. So each week you had a different instructor. So I think that's one thing that I'm going to point out is difficulty in having that teacher presence, because you're always changing who it is. And I think that's one thing that I will talk about at the Mooc is a lack of presence in terms of interaction with their peers and interaction with their teacher. Now here are the discussion forums, and all it says is discuss and ask questions about week 1. Here are some of the posts that have already been put in, but the thing is there is really no guidance for the discussion posts. They just say, here, talk about what we've been doing, which is fine, but sometimes you're talking about what structure and trying to keep everybody on task, so I struggled with that. And then finally, this course info, you see all the instructors, the basic info that's provided, 3 to 5 hours a week, so not really time consuming. And then finally, this outline below kind of gives you an overview of what will be going on in this course. So you see lots of good things in this course as well, the flow, the content, all those different things, but there's just things missing that you need to see for student-centered activity. And that's what I want to talk about in my final part here of what's going on in the course. And my key takeaways right here that I want to show you real quickly. My likes. It has good flow. You can clearly see that you move on. Everything is scaffolded. They don't give you giant lectures, 1 to 4 minutes, and then they review it, they preview it, all that. I love that. The outline of saying what you need to do, when you need to do it to stay on course is something that I need to make sure that I have in my course. And it is very consistent in terms of, not in terms of the teachers, but in terms of what it looks like, the font of the lectures, silly things like that to make sure you stay consistent. My dislikes. It is super content heavy. It never allows for discussion and abstract thought by the students. And something like, career success is something that I think would be nice to have experiences and different perspectives. No built-in community building. So I'm talking about those discussion boards. There is no interaction. There is no presence of the social aspect for this structure. And then finally, the discussion boards is more of an afterthought. Like, here you go. If you want to talk about things, you can. If not, it's really not required. One thing I want to talk about, the evaluation tools that we looked at, the Chico State Quality Matters, the Blackboard Exemplary, they emphasize interaction with each other, with students and with teachers, but don't feel this happens. There's lots of good interaction with the content, but then you're hoping that the students do that. So I think there has to be a moniker that is built in that clearly states this is what has to happen so we can see that interaction. Blackboard is much more student focused. So looking through those exemplary Blackboard models that Tracy provided us, you can see that it's built in that you're wanting the students to talk to each other, build on these thoughts, and critically examine different things. This MOOC does not do that. And then finally, we all got to remember the student. Yes, we want this content to be well done. We want it to be well executed. We want it to cover everything that we possibly can. But if we forget having what the students need, just watching these videos and taking a practice quiz isn't going to translate for everybody. We have to remember all of those students. So those are some of the key takeaways that I have for this MOOC. Yes, there are some good things that I will be borrowing, but a lot of things that I saw that I want to make sure that I don't do. So lots of things for us to work on. So good luck in your endeavors building this summer. I know it's going to be a lot of work for us.